people are here. So I have been really pushed on to speak of manifestation and the powers in which can come from manifestation, magic, manifestation intention. And, the first thing I think of is the ability to communicate and communication and how important it is to communicate, and that it is a tool and a skill that so many humans don't utilize to its best advantage. So, as far as communication goes, no one or no thing is going to know what you want if you don't ask for it. If you don't say it, no one's going to know what your boundaries are if you don't speak them, if you don't create them. No one's going to know how you want to be treated if you don't say something, if you don't speak it aloud. We have to say what we want in the world, because if we don't say what we want, we're not going to ever get what we need and get what we want. So, what? No, you can't be in my live video. So it's important to really have clear communication and say the things that you want in this world, whether that's what you need from your partner, what you need from your boss, or what you're just trying to manifest in the universe. Every cell in your body is listening. Every fiber of time, all the light and the sound waves and particles, they are listening to you, and what you speak aloud is what you are sending out. It's your vibration, it becomes your energetic field, it's what you're creating around you, and it's what you are syncing up with. So, I think it's important to vent and to get things out. However, at some point, you need to really shift, because the more you speak of something, the more you're really calling it back to yourself. So it's like if you had a shitty day at your job, or if you just really don't like your job in general and you're like complaining and bitching about it all the time, at some point you're kind of just filling up all of your consciousness, all of your energetic bodies with this thing that you really truly don't want to be around. You're completely like encasing yourself with the negative energy of the place, the space, the person that you truly like are the most angry at, or the most disgusted with, or really want to get away from. So it's really important to know when you've gone past the point of venting and more just creating this negative orb around you. So we are speaking into the universe the vibrations of the things that we want to have towards us. So it's important for us to really start asking and saying the things that we want in all times, and sometimes what we think we want, we actually may not truly want. If we're asking for big things like, I want to be respected, I want to be seen, like I want to live my soul's purpose. Those are really big concepts, and they go through a lot of different multi-layered dimensional ways of life. So for example, you could have a job come towards you that seems really amazing and really perfect and super aligned, and you're like, oh, this is perfect for me. However, maybe there's somebody there that isn't going to respect you. Maybe the communication is poor. Maybe there's something else going on that isn't going to be truly harmonious for your vibrational bodies. So really knowing what you're asking for. If you were just asking to like make a buck and like to get a job, that's what you're going to get. If you're asking to create a difference in the world, like really align to your purpose, that's going to be a different path. And always remember that when you are manifesting, the end is never the true experience. The end is not really even a place anyway. So maybe you're like, I want to manifest like a better job and more money. What exactly does that mean? And what is it that you're going to have to do to get there? Like, what are the stepping stones to get there? It's never just like you're here and then you jump here. Like, manifestation isn't instant gratification. And that is the problem with especially our society. You know, you can't just pop a pill. There is a pathway to get there. And do you want that pathway? It's like, oh, I want to be the president of this company. Okay, it looks great on the outside, but what do you have to do to get there? Like, who do you have to step on? Like, what do you have to do? Like, does it align with your integrity? Do you care about integrity? Like, what are you going to have to do? What are you going to have to sacrifice? What are you willing to sacrifice in order to get to a certain place? So manifestation is never just about instant gratification. It's really about you asking for something and creating the path to go there. Sometimes that path takes a couple months. Sometimes that path takes years. Sometimes that path takes lifetimes. Like, we are all here because of the lives that came before this one. And like I've said before in my other videos, if you feel really called to do something, if you feel like your fucking soul is screaming this certain thing, you need to do it, and you need to start making room for it to come in. So manifestation is also about making space for the new thing to come in. Like I've said before, I've used the metaphor of, like, if you have a suitcase and it's full of all your old clothes, but you're going on a trip and you wanted to have a whole bunch of new outfits, you're gonna have to dump out the old clothes to make room for the new. So if you want something new to come in, if you're trying to manifest something outside that you don't have yet, or at least you don't think you have, you're probably connected to it in some type of ways through some type of network. You have to make space for it so the path can open up. If it's not there, it's going to remain blocked. So manifestation is about clear communication and asking truly what you want, seeing if the path to get there is what you want, and making space for that new thing to come in. So yeah, it's I think a lot of people think we could just like do a spell and bloop and then we have the thing, and that's not really it. I mean, I think that we can do spells to enhance what we're already kind of calling for, but there is a pathway to get there, and it's very important that that isn't overlooked. That's the whole thing, you know. And get there is not really a place, because we're just gonna keep on wanting, like, your dreams. I really need to drink water. Your dreams and your goals and your inspirations and all the things that you want to achieve, you know, it can kind of keep growing and keep growing, because, like, once you get to a place and you achieve something and you've manifested it, like, does that mean you stop and you end and that's all? I think it's very important for your dreams to be able to be very large and to let yourself dream very big. Oh, hi. Let yourself dream very big and really not limit yourself. There is going to be a pathway to get to all those things. And the bigger your dreams, you know, the girthier the pathway, and the more there's going to have to be done, you know, and the more space is going to have to be made, and the clearer your communication is going to have to be. You know, if you have this dream to be this, like, you know, superstar, like, you don't know what's going to have to come with it. Everything looks different from the outside, but when you're truly walking that path, it's a different sensation. And I think it's important to also know that you should walk your path of manifestation. You know, we are not all walking the exact same routes, and that certain people are here to do certain things, and some of us are here to do other things. And oh, thank you. And it's important to really know your path and know your calling, and, like, listen to your own self and listen to your own intuition and your own guides, and don't listen so hard to somebody else. You don't know what anybody's path of life is like, and just because it may seem so, like, desirable on the outside doesn't necessarily mean that it's something you want. It doesn't mean that they're necessarily having fun. You don't know what they're going through. You don't see people when they're alone. Like, so don't want and manifest for something that you don't know what it is. Truly listen to what your soul is telling you to do, and then create the space for that. Of course, all of us want to be happy and to have money and to have abundance and to, like, feel feel fulfilled, like we have purpose in the life, and like of course all of us want that, but it's going to look different for every single person, and it's important to really stay on your own path and not look and compare yourself to that many other people, you know. And that is part of the manifestation magic is being very present with yourself, like listening to yourself, pushing out everything else, not really looking at all the distractions around you. Yeah, maybe you work a job that you don't love. Well, when you're done working your job, push it out. Like, don't bring it home. Don't think about it. Try not to really talk about it. Try to focus on what you need to do. The more time and space and energy you give to yourself and your process in order to manifest the things that you want, whether that's money, a career, a love, like any of these things, is back to focusing on your path. For example, say you're trying to meet the love of your life. You're like, I want to meet the love of my life. I'm ready to meet the love of my life. The first step you need to do is make space for it, you know? You need to make space for it within you. Usually means going in and doing a lot of self-work. I can say from experience, I went to a shitload of therapy and worked on myself a whole bunch. And right when I got to this moment where I was like, I literally do not want to date another person for the rest of my life. I love being me. I don't want to like fuck with no one. I like met the person that like I am now probably going to marry, that I've been with for years. So it kind of just like happens that way. So yeah, you've got to make the space for it, and you really have to know what you're calling to. And if you're calling to something that you need to be filling up with inside yourself, it's gonna manifest internally. If you're calling for a love because you can't feel content with yourself, you're going to manifest that self-worth inside of you. If you're calling for abundance, you know, that's going to be both. I think like money and job can show up, but really also the abundance of feeling enough and worthy within yourself. There's so many ways to have abundance, you know. Money is just energy anyways. And if we feel like we deserve and we're enough and we're worthy and we're whole and we're abundant, the abundance is going to come to us. But when we like cling on to like scarcity and like we're not enough and we don't deserve and there's nothing beneath us and there's no floor, then that's the energy that's going to vibrate around us. It really truly is a practice, and it's hard because, you know, your brain wants to go every way. It's like we want to worry or we want to grab onto things, and like everybody's doing that. So the chi of everyone is like scattered all around. And so like we want to grab onto all these things, but really we need to like just bring it back and just focus on like, I'm enough, I'm abundance, like I'm well, like I'm making the space for the new things to come in, the things that I'm going to manifest. I'm also a true believer of writing things down on paper. I like to work with the constellation Virgo because I have a lot of planets in that constellation. And that's the powerful like goddess energy. Like she's the deep, deep wisdom. She has the times where she's in the starry realms. She has the times where she dives down deep in the underworld, like right now during the Samhain time, during like the season of tropical Scorpio. It's a powerful constellation, and I like to call to that constellation when I'm doing manifestation magic and when I'm writing things on paper. Using paper and pen is a great way to connect to all the elements and directions around you, casting and calling a circle of protection just by acknowledging them. So by using paper that is north, earth, trees, wood, by using your thought and mental realm, that's the air, by using your fire and your spirit, that's the fire, and the water of the ink of the pen, it's all there. And just by acknowledging the elements and directions, you have already synced up with them and they cast a circle of protection around you. So I love to call to the elements and also work with the constellation of Virgo when I'm doing manifestation magic. And using a pen and paper is really important because as we move more into the age of Aquarius, it's going to become more obsolete. Computers are going to take over, and a lot of people, even in school now, aren't really being taught writing. So it's important to always use a pen and use a paper. Use a pen that you really like writing with. I think if you really love your tools, you're going to use them a lot more. Get a notebook that you really like and write your manifestation down. Call in the power of the Virgo constellation. It wants to help you manifest. And as you write them down, it is like you are creating a blueprint, not only for yourself to reflect on, but for all the energies around, for your guides and guardians to see. So you've spoken it aloud, you've used your throat, and then you write it down, and then you put it up in a place where you see often. So you're really hitting all your senses. You know, you've already thought it, then you've said it, then you've written it, and now you're putting it up for you to see. So you've created this container around you of what you want to manifest, and you're pushing out the container of all the negativity, all the other distractions that you aren't wanting to manifest, that you're trying to walk away from. So really kind of like encasing yourself in what you're trying to achieve. Like, what do you want your environment to look like? Do you want to be in a big, beautiful house? Like, do you want to be able to like create art and music every day? Like, do you want to work a whole bunch for a nonprofit? Like, I don't know, everybody's dreams are different. Like, everybody's dreams are different. And whatever your dream is, you really need to like encase yourself with it, kind of like a cocoon. So having it up in certain places, the more you see, the more it becomes in your consciousness. The more you chant something aloud, the more it fills up your cells and all your vibrational bodies. So the more you create that around yourself energetically, the easier it will be to show up and manifest physically. It's a practice. It's a daily practice, you know, just kind of like monks were in caves chanting. We can do that too. We just live in a different world. A lot of us, all of us at some point in our lives have been mystics and healers and oracles and astrologers and psychics and all of these things. And all of this is inside all of us. We all have bits and pieces of this in our own way. It may not look the same for everybody, but the information of the stars is within us. The information of the earth is within us. And all we need to do is tap back into how we can use this technology to create a world and an existence that is enjoyable and healthy and safe. So as you do your work, as I do my work, we create a bigger vibration. We create a bigger web. We create a new reality and a new environment that is going to revolutionize and change the earth as we know it. You know, we can just blame America for problems, but that is not true. We have global problems, which means we have galactic problems. The star beings are here to help and guide us. But the first thing we really need to master is how we work the earth realm. And the elements and directions are all around us. And all we need to do is keep our intention strong in order to manifest what we know is our soul's purpose. It doesn't have to be hard. The more of us that do it, the easier it will become. As we move into the Aquarian age, it's just going to become easier. Our clairvoyant technology is really activating, and you know, we're electrical beings. I think we forget the power that is inside our bodies, and light and sound and wave particles are all around us all the time. We just have to understand how to interact with us. The most important part of consciousness work is awareness. The more we become aware of things, the more we'll be able to know how to interact with them. You know, it's like you may have not known that this was a cup, and maybe this cup has been in front of you for like 3,000 years, but you didn't know what a cup was. But one day you became conscious of a cup, and it was just right there the whole time waiting for you to use it. And that is what manifestation is. It's things are around us waiting for us to interact and utilize them. We just have to become conscious of them. And to become conscious of something takes awareness. And to be aware, you must make the space for the idea to come in.